Welcome to the intermediate tier. The clean transformer from the beginner tier works, but it is slow and memory hungry at scale. Here we meet the tricks that make real LLMs practical. You already know self-attention, the KV cache, and positional encodings. We will now upgrade each of them. Grouped query attention shrinks the cache, RoPE rethinks position, FlashAttention rewrites the kernel, mixture of experts scales the feed-forward layer. Before the topics, let me hand you the mental model that ties them together so each one has a place to land. Inference has two phases with opposite personalities. Pre-fill, digesting your prompt, is a big parallel matmul compute-bound. Decode, generating one token at a time, is memory-bound, dominated by streaming the KV cache. Almost every technique in this tier is best understood by asking which phase it helps and which resource it saves: raw compute, memory capacity, or memory bandwidth. Keep that three-way split in your head and the whole tier turns from a list of tricks into a coherent map. Phase plus resource, that's the lens for everything ahead. Keep one question in mind throughout. Is this saving compute or saving memory? First up, the attention variants MQA and GQA. Before the optimizations, you need one mental model. At inference, attention is limited by memory bandwidth, not raw compute. Almost every trick in this tier follows from this single fact. A GPU has a small, blazing fast SRAM and a large but slow high bandwidth memory. The roofline model of Williams and colleagues 2009 tells you which one bounds you. For decoding, the answer is almost always memory. Arithmetic intensity is flops per byte. During single-token decoding, it is terrible. We stream the entire KV cache to compute one small attention. The cores sit idle, waiting for bytes to arrive. This rough calculation shows the KV bytes streamed per step dwarf the arithmetic. Shrink those bytes and you go faster. That is the lever GQA, FlashAttention, and MLA all pull. The non-obvious nuance: inference has two phases. Prefill is compute-bound, decode is memory-bound. Newer systems even run them on separate hardware pools. The pyramid says it all. SRAM is fast but tiny, HBM is big but slow. Winning means moving less data between them. Hold this picture, the rest of the tier is variations on it. Let's prove the claim with numbers. Decoding one token through one attention layer over a 4,000 token context. We stream about 17 megabytes of keys and values. The arithmetic on those bytes is roughly the same count of floating point operations, giving an arithmetic intensity of about half a flop per byte. Now compare that to a modern GPU, which wants hundreds of flops per byte to stay busy. We're off by 2 to 3 orders of magnitude. The tensor cores are essentially idle, twiddling their thumbs while the memory system hauls the cache around. That gap, not a lack of compute, is the entire problem this tier solves. Half a flop per byte versus a needed few hundred, that's the wall. Compute is cheap, bytes are expensive. Optimize the bytes. First concrete win, share keys and values across heads. Multi-head attention is expensive to cache. Multi-query and grouped query attention fix that with a simple idea: share keys and values. This is the most asked efficiency question of the last 2 years. Multi-query attention is from Noam Shazir 2019. Grouped query attention, the now standard middle ground, is from Ainsley and colleagues in 2023. LLM 2, LLM 3, and Mistral all ship with GQA. Keep all the query heads, but reduce how many distinct key and value heads they read from. With one KV head, you get MQA. With a few groups, you get GQA. The cache shrinks by the ratio of query heads to key value heads. Implementation is tiny. Store few KV heads, then repeat each one across its group of query heads before attending. You cache NKV heads but compute as if you had an. The clever bit from the GQA paper: you don't retrain from scratch. You mean pool the existing key value heads into groups, then uptrain with a small fraction of the original compute. That is why GQA was adopted so fast. It retrofits cheaply. Picture it. MHA pairs every query head with its own KV. MQA collapses to a single KV. GQA sits in between with a handful of groups. Fewer green KV blocks means a smaller cache. It's worth being precise about the trade-off, because this is exactly where interviewers push. Multi-query attention gives the biggest cache savings, but collapsing to one key value head can measurably hurt quality and even make training less stable. Grouped query attention is the engineering compromise that won. With, say, 8 groups, you shrink the cache roughly 8-fold while staying within a hair of full multi-head quality. Concretely, LLM 2's 70 billion model uses 8 key value groups across 64 query heads. The number of groups is a dial. More groups means better quality, but a larger cache. The right setting depends on your latency and memory budget, which is why a strong answer names the trade-off rather than a single best value. GQA isn't free, it's a deliberate, tunable quality memory trade. Share keys and values, keep the queries, that is GQA in one line. Next, we revisit positions with the rotary trick, RoPE. RoPE is the position scheme behind LLM, Mistral, and most modern models. Instead of adding position, it rotates. It elegantly turns absolute positions into relative ones. RoPE comes from the RoFormer paper by Su and colleagues in 2021. Crucially, it acts on the query and key vectors inside attention, not on the input embeddings. That placement is what makes the dot product position aware. Take each pair of dimensions and rotate it by an angle proportional to the position. Different pairs use different frequencies. The magic: when you dot a rotated query with a rotated key, the result depends only on the difference of their positions. In code, we build per position angles, then apply a 2D rotation to each pair of dimensions in the query and key. It is just sines and cosines applied as a rotation, no new parameters. Here is what most people miss. That base frequency of 1000 is a knob. Change how the angles wrap and you can stretch a model to longer contexts. That is exactly what NTK-aware scaling and yarn exploit later. Picture one 2D slice of a query vector. As position increases, the same vector simply rotates further around the circle. Relative angle between two tokens encodes their distance. To really know RoPE, compare it to its rivals. Classic absolute encodings add a position vector once at the input and generalize poorly beyond the training length. Alibi from Press and colleagues in 2022 takes a different route. It adds a simple linear penalty to attention scores based on distance with no learned position vectors at all. It extrapolates well and is beautifully cheap. So why did RoPE win the most adoption? It encodes true relative position, it adds no parameters, and crucially it applies cleanly inside fused attention kernels like FlashAttention. You just rotate Q and K before the matmul. That blend of quality and hardware friendliness is why Llama, Mistral, Quen, and Gemma all chose it. Knowing why RoPE beat Alibi and Absolute PE is a great interview edge. Rotate instead of add, and position becomes relative for free. Now the kernel-level breakthrough, FlashAttention. FlashAttention made attention dramatically faster without changing the math at all. The win is in how it touches memory. It is exact, not an approximation, a key point in interviews. FlashAttention is from Tridau and colleagues in 2022. The insight: a naive kernel writes the full sequence-by-sequence score matrix to slow memory and reads it back. That memory traffic, not the math, is the bottleneck. It tiles the computation into blocks small enough for SRAM and uses an online softmax that updates a running max and sum as it streams blocks. The full score matrix is never materialized in HBM. In modern PyTorch, you just call scale.productAttention. It dispatches to a FlashAttention kernel under the hood. Identical outputs, a fraction of the memory traffic. The enabling trick is the online softmax. Normally, you need the entire row to find the max for numerical stability. The streaming version from Milakov and Gimelchin in 2018 rescales running totals so blocks can be combined exactly. Instead of the whole grid at once, FlashAttention walks small tiles through fast SRAM, accumulating the result as it goes. One tile in SRAM at a time, never the full matrix in HBM. There's a subtlety people forget. Training needs the backward pass, and gradients normally require the very score matrix we just avoided storing. FlashAttention's answer is gradient checkpointing taken to its logical end. In the backward pass, it simply recomputes each tile of scores on the fly, rather than holding the whole matrix in memory. The only things it keeps from the forward pass are the per-row softmax statistics, the running maximum and normalizer, which are tiny. The result is a small amount of extra computation in exchange for turning memory from quadratic to linear. On modern hardware, where memory is the bottleneck, that trade is almost always a win. Recomputation beats storage when bandwidth, not flops, is scarce. Don't store what you can stream, that is FlashAttention. Next, scaling the model itself with Mixture of Experts. Mixture of Experts lets a model have hundreds of billions of parameters while only using a few of them per token. It is how models like Mixtral and DeepSeek get big and stay cheap. The idea goes back to Shazir and colleagues in 2017, was simplified by the switch transformer of Fetus and colleagues in 2021, and went mainstream with Mixtral in 2024. In every case, the feed-forward layer is what gets replaced. Swap the single feed-forward network for many experts. A small router picks the top 1 or 2 experts per token. Total parameters explode, but compute per token barely moves. The router outputs a score per expert. We take the top 2, softmax their scores, and blend just those experts' outputs. Only 2 of n experts run for any given token. The hard part isn't routing, it's balance. Without help, The router sends everything to a few favorite experts. So MoE models add an auxiliary load balancing loss and per expert capacity limits. The router is a switchboard. Each token lights up only its top experts, here 2 of 6, and the rest stay dark. Sparse activation is the whole point. Here's the number that makes MoE click and the trap inside it. Take Mixtral, 8 experts of roughly 7 billion, but with shared layers it totals about 47 billion parameters. Yet each token only activates 2 experts, so it runs as if the model were about 13 billion. You get the quality that tends to track total parameters at the compute cost of a much smaller model. That is the magic. Now the catch interviewers love. MoE saves compute, not memory. Every expert might be needed by the next token, so you must keep all of them resident in GPU memory. A sparse model is cheap to run but still expensive to host. Confusing those two is the classic MoE mistake. Cheap flops, expensive RAM. Say that and you sound like you've shipped one. Many experts, few active, big capacity, small bill. Now back to the KV cache, this time the actual memory math. Let's put real numbers on the KV cache, then see how vLLM's PagedAttention stops it from wasting memory. This question separates people who have served LLMs from those who have only read about them. Before vLLM, serving systems reserved the maximum sequence length for every request, wasting most of it. Quan and colleagues fixed this in 2023. Their idea was borrowed straight from operating systems. The cache size is 2 for K and V times layers times key value heads times head dimension times sequence length and batch for a 13 billion model at 4K context, that is gigabytes per sequence. This little function sizes the cache. Plug in your layers, heads, and context, and you can predict memory before you deploy. Knowing this number is half of capacity planning. PagedAttention treats the cache like virtual memory. KV lives in fixed-size blocks allocated on demand, not one big contiguous reservation. Blocks can even be shared across requests with the same prefix. The bars tell the story. Naive reservation wastes most of its memory, while paged blocks keep nearly all of it usable. More usable memory means more concurrent requests, higher throughput. Paging unlocks 2 more wins that are easy to miss. The first is prefix sharing. Because the cache is now blocks behind a lookup table, many requests with the same system prompt can point at the very same physical blocks. They only diverge, copy-on-write style, once their generations differ, for a chatbot with a long shared instruction that can save enormous memory across thousands of concurrent users. The second is continuous batching. Instead of waiting for a whole batch to finish, the scheduler evicts a sequence the instant it emits its end token and slots a waiting request into the freed blocks. Combine paging, prefix sharing, and continuous batching, and you get the 2 to 4 times throughput gains that made vLLM famous. Memory layout, it turns out, is a throughput feature. Size the cache, then page it. That is modern LLM serving. Last in this tier, the first real long context trick, sliding windows. Full attention costs grow with the square of length. Sliding window attention caps that by letting each token see only nearby tokens. It is the simplest way to push context length up cheaply. Longformer from Beltagi and colleagues in 2020 introduced local windows. Mistral 7b made the sliding window famous in 2023. Each restricts attention to a band around each token. Restrict each token to a window of the previous W tokens. Cost becomes linear in length times window. Like a convolution, stacking layers widens the reach. After K layers, information can flow across K times W tokens. Conceptually, it is just a different mask. Keep the causal band of width W and set everything outside it to negative infinity. Real kernels skip the masked work entirely rather than computing it. The system's payoff is big. A fixed window means a fixed size KV cache, a rolling buffer that never grows. The cost is real though. Tokens far outside the window are forgotten. Compared to full causal attention, the window keeps only a diagonal band, far fewer cells to compute and store. A thin band per row instead of a growing triangle. There's a famous gotcha hiding in the rolling buffer. The naive implementation evicts the oldest tokens first, which sounds reasonable until you try it. It turns out the very first tokens of a sequence absorb a huge share of attention, regardless of their content. Drop them to make room, and the model's output quality falls off a cliff. We'll unpack exactly why in the advanced tier under the name attention sinks. There are also richer patterns than a plain band. Longformer mixes a local window with a few global tokens that everyone can see, and some designs dilate the window to cover more ground with the same budget. These hybrids claw back long-range reach that a pure window throws away. A sliding window is powerful, but only if you keep the sinks. Go local to go long, stack layers to claw back range. That wraps the intermediate tier. Let's synthesize it. The intermediate tier was really one story told 4 ways: how to make attention cheap. 1. GQA shrinks the cache. 2. RoPE and Flash attention make attention faster and longer. 3. Mixture of experts scales parameters cheaply. 4. Paging and sliding windows bound memory. Every one of them traded against compute or memory bandwidth. Look at the kind of question you can now reason through. These are real system design prompts. Decode is slow. You'd profile, suspect memory bandwidth, and reach for GQA, FlashAttention, or paging. Need longer context on the same card. Shrink the cache and bound the window. Why is GQA everywhere? It retrofits cheaply and barely dents quality. And when is mixture of experts right? When you want more capacity without more compute per token, knowing full well it costs you memory, not compute. Answering with that nuance is what separates someone who has read about LLMs from someone who has run them. The advanced tier now pushes every one of these ideas to its 2024 limit. You're now reasoning like an inference engineer? Next, we push each idea to its 2024 era limit. See you in the advanced tier.